What's up, girly pops? Welcome to today's Vlogmas. Now, as you can probably already tell, this isn't gonna be a regular vlog. In fact, it's not really gonna be a vlog at all. Genuinely, I had nothing planned for today, and that's probably not as interesting. So instead, I decided to finally do the sit down and reflect on my year. So let's get into it. So before I start, I really encourage you guys to kind of do what I did. So I'm gonna show you guys the outline of what I did to kind of like write down my thoughts and like reflect and plan for the new year and all of that good stuff. So I highly encourage you guys to fill in this outline and kind of follow along with me while I show you guys kind of my reflection of the year, what I learned, what I'm getting out of it, planning for the new year, all of that. To start off, I just want to say that this year for me personally was a transformational year because I kind of started my brand from scratch, kind of, and I literally on January 1st, I rebranded, I changed everything around, I renamed my business, even my approach was very different on social media. So I feel like right off the bat, starting 2023, everything was very much different from the years before. So with that being said, we should probably start with what I'm proud of. Okay, I think the first thing that I want to say is that I am super proud of myself for taking risks. It really isn't easy to do this, but I really tested my limits, and instead of just staying in that fear, which is completely okay, like we're all fearful of things, but me personally, I persisted and I pushed through, I broke through and took that leap of faith, took that risk, and I'm really proud of myself for doing that. And this kind of leads me to the second thing I'm proud of, which is taking action. Very similar to taking risk, taking action is different because you might have the desire and the want to do something, but until you actually go do it, will things change? Will you see results? Will you see what happens, you know? And what I mean by that is like when I have a thought or an idea, immediately I take action. I do something about it, whether if it's writing it down or putting it on my schedule or networking or sharing it with other people. Like I'm taking action with those thoughts. I think especially because sometimes we're so stuck with the idea of what if, you know? So I was so done and tired of just saying what if, and I went for it, you know what I mean? I took action and I just kept going, you know? The third thing that I'm proud of is trusting myself. I think the reason why I wrote this down is because there were conversations that I had in my head, even with my partner, about am I doing the right thing? Was this a mistake? Can I even do this, you know? But quickly, with the support of my partner, but also just within myself, I would remind myself like, you got this, you are talented, you have a purpose. So I just reminded myself to trust myself and bet on myself, you know? So I think that's something that I'm very proud of this year. And lastly, and honestly, this is a big one for me, the last thing that I'm proud of is letting go. And the reason why this is a big deal for me is because I feel like I'm a control freak and I like things to be perfect and done the way that I see it in my head and approached a certain way or whatever. And I think part of taking a risk, taking action, trusting myself is letting go. You know what I mean? I can't control everything, and that's okay. You know what I mean? I just kind of have to let things flow and arrange itself, you know, and I can go from there. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I let go completely, but letting go did help my journey this year tremendously. So I'm just really proud of that because past me would have never, it would have been super hard to do, and I probably wouldn't have gone as far as I did this year had I not let go. So proud of myself. But okay, now that we talked about what I'm proud of, we gotta talk about what I regret. This is feedback for myself, okay? Number one, not being consistent. There were many times that I was very ambitious in my head and thought that I can do a lot, and I'm just a person, and yes, I can take advantage of every single hour of the day, but at the end of the day, I'm still human, and I also need breaks, and I need a balance in my life. And something that I wasn't doing was being consistent. For example, there were many series that I started that took longer to end because I wasn't consistent with them. Posting on YouTube, I wasn't consistent. Even on a personal level, like my health. Like, I'm really proud that I went to the gym more consistently this year than I ever have, but I wasn't as consistent as I wish I was. You know what I mean? There were times where I was going 5 times a week for 2 months, and then it would go to 3 times a week for a month, and sometimes I wouldn't go for 3 months straight. So that's not being consistent, you know what I mean? It's better than where I started. I'm gonna give myself credit for that, but I gotta work on that. Okay, another thing that I regret is not being of my word. And this one hits hard for me because years ago I was in an intentional Years ago, I was in an emotional intelligence program, and something that I learned in that program is the 4 agreements. I highly recommend that you guys read that book. I'll leave the link down below, but one of the agreements is to be of your word. What does that mean? It literally just means if you're gonna say you're gonna do something, do it. And that's something that I definitely lacked this year, which kind of goes hand in hand with being consistent. But again, even on a personal level, like saying that I want to go visit my siblings more often. You know what I mean? I wasn't on my word. So that takes away credibility for myself, because if I keep saying I'm gonna do something and then I don't do it, the people who are affected from this are not going to value my word as much. And that sucks because I want to be reliable. I want people to think of me and be like, I can trust Andy. I know she'll be there. If she says she's gonna do something, she's gonna do it. And I definitely feel like I do, but maybe it's just me being hard on myself. But I know that it's not where it needs to be, and I know that I have let myself down and other people as well. So something that I definitely regret is not being of my word. Lastly, something that I regret is not taking that leap of faith sooner. I know it sounds cheesy, but like, I sometimes think about it and I'm like, wow, like where would I be now had I taken that leap of faith sooner? But at the same time, I believe that everything happens for a reason, and maybe I needed to take that leap of faith now. Maybe I wasn't ready for it back then. Maybe it was too soon back then. Maybe I wouldn't learn what I needed to learn if I took that leap of faith sooner. You know what I mean? So that is something that I do regret, but I'm not as hard on myself about that one because I'm just like, what am I gonna do about it? Like, it's already done. In hindsight, I see now the result of me taking a leap of faith, but I'm okay with where I'm at. My foot went to sleep. Okay, now that I took some accountability and talked about what I regret, let's talk about what I learned. Number 1, actually getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. I know we hear it everywhere, but there's a difference between saying it and actually being uncomfortable, and more importantly, being comfortable being uncomfortable, okay? So nobody likes to be thrown out in a situation that they're not used to controlling or maneuvering or any of that, But there is power with stepping outside of your comfort zone. I think the part about getting comfortable being uncomfortable means like it's not going to be a one-time thing. Like, you don't just have to go network or go live on social media or talk to a stranger or whatever it is that's uncomfortable for you. That doesn't mean you're going to do it once. It means you're going to constantly put yourself in those uncomfortable situations and being okay with that. And trust me, the best comes out of those situations. And I learned that firsthand this year. So I'm really, really happy that I did that. and again, that I trusted myself and I just went for it. Okay, this one is a big one. Shooting your shot. I feel like this year I definitely shoot my shot with a lot of things. Not just did I get a studio that I wasn't sure how I was going to afford, to be honest, but moving my entire business, having to start a new clientele, navigating the world of social media, all of that took a lot of just shooting my shot and just again going for it, you know, maybe even collaborating, all of that, pitching a project, that's shooting your shot. And it kind of goes back with being uncomfortable, you know. And this is like something that I've been telling people throughout the year is, girl, just shoot your shot. Like, who knows what's gonna happen? We're about to find out. Just shoot your shot. Example is the Lasheria party. I just emailed a bunch of brands to see if they wanted to sponsor. I shoot my shot. The worst thing they could say is no. And of course I got a lot of no's, but I also got a lot of yeses. So shoot your shot, honey. And to add to that, I feel like the reason we don't really shoot our shot is because we're embarrassed, you know? Like, it's gonna be embarrassing if they say no. Like, what are they gonna think about us now? Or I can't take it back, or whatever, you know what I mean? But like, girl, I think it's all in our head. I don't think people care as much as we do. Like, if they say no, they're not gonna be like, I can't believe they asked me, blah blah blah, the audacity, blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? Of course there's a way for you to shoot your shot that's appropriate, but it's not gonna be in the end of the world. You're not gonna make or break a relationship for shooting your shot, you know what I mean? This leads to my next point, which is actually getting used to people saying no. Girl, you're not always going to get your way. People are going to say no, and that's completely fine. Again, you gotta get out of your own head and be okay with that. Imagine if I just pitched a project to one person and they said no, and then I just stopped from there. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't be where I am today had I not been persistent. And it's not even with the same person, but just with multiple people. The first no doesn't mean that it's a bad idea or that it's not going to happen. It just means like right now they're not okay with it, or they can't do it, or it's not the right time, or whatever. But maybe the other person, that would be an amazing idea. That would be an amazing project to start, or whatever it is that you're pitching. So the first no is not going to ruin your career or whatever it is that you're trying to do. Like, just know you gotta, in this business, girly, you gotta grow some thick skin and be okay with that. Be okay with being uncomfortable, be okay with people saying no, and just keep it going, you know? And lastly, I'm sure you've heard of this before, but if you do not like your reality, change it. I've mentioned this on a video on Instagram before, but life is hard. Your life is hard, my life is hard, the neighbor's life is hard, everybody's life is hard. But what's also hard is taking that risk. What's also hard is living the life that you want to live. That's hard. It's not going to be handed to you. So you get to choose what hard you want to do. Every day waking up, it's going to be hard. Going to the gym, it's going to be hard. Lashing or whatever it is that you're doing as a career is going to be hard, you know? But you get to decide if you want to stay where you are and be unhappy if that's how you're feeling right now, or change it to potentially feel better or do better or be free in some way or form. Again, if you do not like your reality, change it. But okay, girly, that's enough for this last year. I think we reflected pretty good. We talked about what we're proud of, what we regret, what we learned, and now we get to talk about the next year, and that is New Year's resolutions. Now, little disclaimer, I don't like New Year's resolutions. And this isn't something that I've been doing for a while. Absolutely not. I used to do New Year's resolutions up until last year. Yeah, you may or may not know, but last year I was in a very depressed state of mind. I had high anxiety. I was very miserable, and I didn't know why. I was trying to figure out why I was feeling like this. It was an everyday battle, and I hated the feeling. This started happening around the fall, and towards the end, starting winter almost, I realized I don't want to feel like this anymore, and I decided I needed change. So instead of waiting, like all of us, for the new year to do our resolutions, to plan next year, I want to do this, I want to do that, XYZ, whatever, I decided to not wait because tomorrow, girly, is not promised, and I want to start now. I don't want to wait till next year because, girl, the years go by so fast. You know what I mean? I mean, the year's about to end right now, and as quick as it may go, we also have plenty of time to start the year strong. Why would you want to wait to finish this year and start the new year to just barely start the new things, start the new projects, start the new you? Why not do it now so that you can start the new year strong with a new perspective, a new identity, all of that? So instead of doing a New Year's resolution, I highly recommend that you do a New Year's cleanse. But we'll talk about that in a little bit. First, let's talk about what you want to accomplish next year. If you are following the outline, I hope you are filling every single box, but in particular, I hope you are at least filling in this particular box. I think it's so important to write down our goals and what we want to accomplish so that we have a vision, we have a focus entering the new year. So again, this whole reflection, sitting down, talking about the future is related to me. So I'm going to share with you guys what I want to accomplish next year, and maybe it'll give you guys some ideas of what you want to accomplish next year as well. So let's start with this channel. My goal for next year is to have a bigger presence on YouTube. That doesn't necessarily mean get more followers, but build a community for sure. Another goal is to be consistent on Instagram. That was one regret that I had this year, so might as well make it a goal and a focus. Number 3, be a catalyst in growing the Latin community in the lash industry. I want more Latinas in this industry. I feel like we are mighty and we have a lot of heart and desire and ganas, honestly. And I've already connected with so many, and I love you guys. Las amo, and I want more. I want my community to grow and be powerful and make change in this industry. So that is my goal, is to become a catalyst and helping grow this community. Number 4, have a good relationship with my health. Now, I say this because many of us always write down lose weight or gain weight depending on your goal, look fit, go to the gym, yada yada, which are really good goals, but I don't want to make mine so specific. Again, I'm really proud that I even went to the gym this year, but my goal is to have a relationship, and in a good relationship, you have to communicate and you have to nurture it. So communication, our bodies are always telling us when they need something. Now it's on us to listen, you know? I feel like there has been many a times that my body has asked for water or for better food or to go take a walk, touch some grass, all of that stuff, and I've neglected it instead of nurturing it, instead of feeding to that relationship. So I feel like I need to start treating my body and my health in general as a relationship so that I can have a good balance. You know, I don't want to be in a diet. I don't want to just be a gym rat or count my calories, or I don't know. I don't want it to feel like a task. I want it to feel like I want to do this for myself. I deserve this for myself. So that's why I worded it like that. Hopefully that changes something for me, and I really accomplished that going into the new year and continuing on to the future, to more years. Number 5, be of my word. Again, we talked about regrets. That's something that I want to work on, is be of my word. And girlies, I need you to keep me accountable. As I mentioned in previous vlogs, I want to share things behind the scenes with you guys. I want you guys to be a part of the journey. So if I say I'm gonna do something, y'all better keep me accountable and tell me, hey Andy, where is it? I need you to do this. We're excited, or whatever the case may be. But y'all are gonna be my girlies. I need accountability, and I'm gonna do it. Number 6, and this may seem cheesy for some people, but this is like something that I do want to make it a focus, is keep pursuing my muse. So in other words, do what makes me happy. The reason why I wanted to write this down as a goal or an accomplishment is because we can get so carried away with routine or what's working or what's paying the bills or whatever, and sometimes we don't take a second to sit down and be like, do I even like doing this? Like, again, I don't want things to feel like a task. I want them to be like, I enjoy doing this. I wake up every day excited to do this, you know? Of course, even me as a lash artist, I love being a lash artist, but there are days where I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? Of course, that is natural, but I want most of my days to feel excited and ready to take on my day and pursue whatever that is, you know? So that's something that I wrote down so that I can focus on that and remind myself, am I enjoying this? Do I like this? Is it my muse? Okay, those are all of my goals and accomplishments that I want to achieve. Now let's move on to the action plan. So obviously, what I recommend is doing your action plan and putting it right next to your goals. For example, if your goal is to be consistent on Instagram, then your action plan would be posting a reel every single day, or making sure that you're on your stories, commenting on other people's posts, sticking to your niche. You want to be specific with that goal. Like, how are you going to accomplish that? Another thing that you can do is write down any obstacles. Why haven't you accomplished that already? What's holding you back? Write those down so that you can identify it and break it down from there. Now, I'm going to share my action plan, but it's going to be more general, not specific to each goal that I set for myself. So I said that I was going to talk about the cleanse. I really think instead of just going in and saying, next year I want to do this, I want to do that, yada yada, which of course we're going to do right now, but what you should also do is, like we just did, reflect and find what you can cleanse out of your life, honestly. For example, if your goal is to eat cleaner, okay, your obstacle is that you drink soda, maybe that's your cleanse, is to get rid of soda. Maybe your goal is to focus on your business, but your obstacle is that you don't have enough time in the day. Look at what's cutting into your time. So whether if it's socializing with your friends or scrolling too much on your phone, really identify what's a priority. Like, is that really feeding into your goal? And if not, cleanse it out. Now, something more deeper. Maybe there's a relationship that isn't serving you. Maybe there is a friend group that isn't serving you. Those are harder things to tackle, but if it's not serving you, you're just carrying the baggage, you know? As harsh as that sounds, I understand. You probably need it out of your life so that you can become the best version of yourself, so that you can accomplish those goals, so that you do have more time, more energy, a better support system, whatever the case may be. So I do highly recommend that you reflect and cleanse before the new year. Another thing I want to do is lead by example. If I want to help grow the Latin community in the lash industry, I have to be a part of that community. I have to represent that community. So that for me is what lead by example means. Another one is be intentional with my time. I feel like even if it's 5 minutes, if I am carelessly scrolling on social media, which is a hard balance for myself because I do a lot on social media, like creating content, looking for sound bits, networking. So it is a hard balance, but we are very much aware when we are just scrolling on social media just to scroll, and when we are just actually working. So I feel like identifying the two and making it an obvious, like, I'm scheduling time to go on social media for XYZ compared to I'm just bored, I want to be on my phone. So I think that's the first thing I need to do so that I can be intentional with my time. Another one is staying focused. It's so easy to start off the new year with new year, new me energy, starting off strong, going to the gym, eating healthy, drinking water, prioritizing your career, yada yada yada, and then mid-January you're like, okay, I can't do this anymore. I think that's why it's so important to have vision boards or a planner or just something that you can see, so that you can remind yourself what your focus is, what your goals are, what you're trying to accomplish, who you're trying to be, so that you can stay focused, which leads to keeping myself accountable. If I don't keep myself accountable, it's just going to blur out the lines and things are going to get messy and it might feel overwhelming and I may be making excuses. So I gotta keep myself accountable. I gotta face on the things that I'm not doing head on and remind myself like I'm doing a disservice to myself by not doing the things that I told myself I would do. And the 3 that I just mentioned, keeping myself accountable, staying focused, and being intentional with my time can all be supported with a planner. Shameless plug, but I put a planner together for this reason. I made this planner selfishly for myself, but I did decide to put it on my store for other people to use because I feel like it's so important. Girl, I don't know how I was navigating life even before college, kind of during college too. I did have a planner, but like I was not using it as often as I should have. And now that I have a business, I live by my schedule, but having a planner would be so much different, and I feel like it would definitely keep myself accountable. I would definitely see where my time is going, and of course it would help me stay focused. So maybe consider buying a planner. Find something that you like. I'm sure there's a bunch of stores that you can find good planners, but I personally am very picky with a planner, so I made my own because I know what I needed. I know what's gonna work for me, and I'm really excited to use it, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, maybe consider having an agenda or a planner, something that you can physically write on and use every single day. And lastly, celebrate the small wins. I feel like we just wait for that aha moment, for the I finally accomplished it moment, and believe it or not, but many times when you do accomplish those big goals, you don't really feel the intense emotion that you thought you were going to feel. Sometimes it's just like, all right, I did it, you know? So I feel like it's so important to build up to it, to celebrate those small wins, to celebrate your first day at the gym, or the first client that you booked, or the first comment that you get on your social media. I think it's so important to celebrate those small wins. So I think making it a point, doing something, treating yourself for it. Don't make it so regular either, because then it's just going to be an everyday getting Starbucks. I think it should be something that you look forward to. So maybe not as regular, but something that is more attainable. Like, oh, I can definitely do that small win, and get excited for that. That way, the more you're collecting those small wins, the more you're gearing towards that big one, towards accomplishing that goal. But yeah, girlies, I think that's all I got for the reflection, what I learned, what I want to accomplish next year, the action plan, all of that good stuff. The next step for me is putting it down on a planner and starting it. In fact, I'm actually starting a lot of it right now. I think I want to start showing you guys what I have in the works once my planner comes in. If you guys saw yesterday's vlog, you saw that I finally received my planner, but it wasn't to the standard, I guess, that I wanted. So I ordered a new one. I changed the PDF files. Hopefully it gets here by next week, which is right on time for the planner. But I'm excited to actually see it all put together and start taking action day by day. Again, I've already started, but for me, it feels more real when I'm following something. So that would be my planner. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this video helps. I hope what I learned and what I got out of this year is insightful in some way for you. I hope it inspires you to have an amazing 2024. But yes, I can't wait for what's to come. I can't wait to see how much we grow as individuals. I'm just super excited. I have a good feeling. I've had a good feeling since the beginning of this year, and the feeling has only grown, and I'm just excited. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. I asked on social media what some of you guys want to accomplish next year, and I want to share it with you guys because some of them were really good. So let's check it out. Okay, it took me a second to find them, but I wrote it down because again, I am vlogging on my phone, but I'm only gonna read a couple of them, but some of these are really good. So, getting my own lash room. Yes, that is a really, really good goal. I am excited for you. I can't wait. If you do get your own lash room, please show me. I am eager to see how it looks. I wish you nothing but the best, girly. I'm super, super excited for you. Getting lashes for the first time ever. Okay, girly, let me just say, you might get obsessed, but it's gonna be great. I love that for you. Going to the gym consistently, perfect. I feel like that's a lot of people's goal, and that's a good one because we gotta take care of our health, girly, and I am right there with you. I'll see you at the gym. Actually start lashing, girly. Please do. I hope this is something that you pursue. I hope this is something that you love. I never encourage people to just do it just because I'm doing it. Like, I hope you enjoy it, and I hope it treats you well and you become abundant and your business flourishes. Lastly, I'm going to read Being More Confident in Myself and in What I Do. That one hit. I feel like sometimes we are not confident, and what's that saying? Fake it till you make it. So I think it goes with what I learned was trusting myself. So trust yourself and be confident in yourself and own it. I think that's the big one. You gotta own it. So those are some good goals. Comment down below one or a few of your goals that you have for next year. Comment down below if you filled in the outline or you want to do the outline that I shared with you guys. Comment what you learned this year, what you regret, what you're proud of. I hope you accomplish every single goal that you have set for yourself. I wish you abundance in this upcoming year. You got this, girly. We got this. It's gonna be a great year. But that's a wrap, you guys. I really, really hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, please leave a like, share, subscribe, comment, all of that good stuff. And I'll see you tomorrow for Vlogmas. Peace.